Hi, I'm Joseph Patrick, co-founder of Lamont Brothers. Today in this video, I want to give you some ideas about home office additions. And first we're going to talk about some opportunities to get a home office at your home. And then we're going to talk through some considerations of things you want to think about through the design process. So let's talk about 4 key things to think about if you're looking to find space in your home or lot to do an addition. And there's 4 areas to look at for an addition on your home. One is out. Building an addition out horizontally, one direction or another. And what you want to think about there is the lot lines and the setbacks. Do I have enough space on my lot minus the setback to fit the office? Then you want to think about the roof line and how the roof is going to connect to your existing home, and the actual entry connection. Does this space for my office make sense in terms of the flow of my home layout? Then you want to think about up. If I build an addition up into attic space or add up on my house, what do I have to think about there? That can be a great way to do it, especially if you already have attic space. Maybe you do a small dormer addition, and that gives you just enough space for a home office. When you do that, what you want to think about is you want to think about the floor loads, because previously the structure that's there is not designed for living space, so you're probably going to have to upgrade that. Then you want to think about the exterior architectural aesthetic. What's it going to look like when I do a dormer in this location? Because when we design it, we want it to look like it's always been that way. It was originally designed that way when the house was built. Then you want to think about down. We have a lot of unfinished basements in Portland, especially within the city limits of Portland, and that is a great opportunity to capture that space, convert it to living space, and then you've got a home office there. A couple of things you want to think about when you do a basement office is you want to think about the ceiling height. Within the city limits of Portland, it's got to be at least 6'8". Outside, it's got to be at least 7 feet in general. Then you want to think about access, the stairway going down to the basement. Does that make sense? Is that a good flow for where I want my office and how that relates to the rest of my home? I don't want to be crawling down into a dungeon to go to work every day. We want that transition to be natural and you to feel good about it. Then we want to bring light into the basement. Worst thing about any basement room that's not a media room is it tends to be dark. So what can we do to bring both natural and artificial light into this space to really brighten it up? One way that we've done that recently is really wide window wells. So not going with like an egress window well that's about 39 inches. Go with a 5-foot window well with 2 big windows to really draw that light in. If you can do this on the south side of your home, even better, especially here in Oregon. Then you've got interior space to think about. Are there underutilized areas inside my home I can do an office addition in and capture that space for greater utilization and my home office? Often we're thinking about formal dining rooms. If you don't use your formal dining room, that could end up being a great space. Often the layout in a lot of homes, it works well to do an office addition right there. You might think about spare bedrooms, other things where maybe we just have to put up a wall with a glass door in it, or move some electrical, or just custom design a desk, or add lighting, and then you've got a great home office within your house. So let's talk about some different design considerations that you want to think about, whatever your different addition is, as you go through the design process for that addition. First, you want to think through the size. How big of an office do I really need? Is it just for me? Is it for me and a spouse? What's the workspace? How big of a workspace do I need? Do I need just one computer with monitors, sit-stand station? Do I need space to spread out and look at physical books or materials? What's that workspace look like? Then you want to think through sound isolation. So especially if I've got kids at home and I'm doing conference calls or something like that, I really need to think about the sound isolation. And there's probably a dozen different ways we can look at it, and they all have different costs associated. You can do everything from rebuilding walls to be double stud walls with an air gap. You can do additional layers of drywall with an isolation compound between them. There's a lot of different ways to look at sound sound isolation. And you can go from fairly minimal cost and a significant but minimal result all the way to really sound isolating the room, and that's going to cost more. Thanks for watching. For more information about different types of additions, costs for different additions, or other things to think about through the design process, please subscribe to our channel here on YouTube or check out more information on our website. Thanks.